I'm Maddie Bucci, and I am 29 years old, and I'm in New York City, and I'm training to run my first half marathon. I literally started running because nothing in my life was familiar. I was displaced from New York City during COVID. I wasn't working any of the jobs I had pre-COVID. My life just looked completely different, and it was really scary. I was feeling out of control and depressed and not sure of like who I was, and just like I wasn't in control of my body, I felt like. And so I went for a run. The run was 20 minutes, and it's walk 1 minute, run 1 minute for 20 minutes. And I was dry heaving. Like, it was so fucking hard. And I just remember like literally, I didn't have a watch yet. So I was just like holding my phone, 40 seconds, 41 seconds. I'm like, oh my God, like I cannot run this. Like, that was the reality of the first run. And that was not that long ago. I think I was just grasping at something that I could like make mine. Nothing felt like I had ownership of it. And like, even though it was really hard and so far out of what my comfort zone was, like, as I am not historically an athletic person, I didn't know anybody that was a runner. It became something that I could be like, I'm gonna try and do this and work on a schedule, which was also something I was craving because I had no schedule. I was just like a floating blob through days of quarantine. The first day that I had to run on my schedule 30 minutes was like such a day, like in my calendar. And like every time I would have like a new time set out, like I would call my mom after the run and be like, I ran for 10 minutes. Like I ran literally for 10 minutes. And then I would be like, I ran for 20 minutes. I cannot explain like how much I still can't believe that I'm running for 10 minutes. I cannot believe it. But the day that I was supposed to run 30 minutes, I was so nervous. Like, it wasn't the end of the program. It was not the 5K day. And like, I will never forget, I literally cried on the street. I was on like 112th Street, and I like looked down at my watch. It was like 28 minutes. And I was like, I'm gonna fucking do this. Like, I'm actually gonna run for 30 minutes. I was like crying, and I was like looking around like someone was gonna be there to like celebrate. No one cared. But I called my mom, and I was like, I literally did it. Like, and she's just as shocked as me. Like, she knows my history with athleticism and like and running, anything. I remember that feeling. That was like the first time, if there is like such a thing as like runner's high, that like was the first time I really experienced that, which is what, like 6 weeks into the fucking program. So like there was a lot of shit before that. But when I ran 30 minutes, I was like, I'm gonna do the 5K. Like, I knew, I was like, I can do it. And then I ran the 5K, and I was like, oh, it was so much more about me figuring out that I was going to be able to do it than actually doing it. And you know what's interesting? I had decided that I was going to tell certain people. Like, I was not putting it on my social media. What if this was an accident? Like, what if this isn't real? You know, what if this doesn't last? And what if I go out blabbing that I'm a runner now, and then I tell my whole family who thinks I'm non-athletic that I'm a runner, and then 6 months from now they're like, how's running? And I'm like, oh, I don't run anymore. Like, that is mortifying. That is a mortifying idea for me. So saying all of this and like putting this out there is like really a scary hurdle, because I'm a Taurus, and like I'm stubborn. And so like if I am gonna be saying this, I'm gonna be fucking meaning it. So as soon as you accomplish a goal, everyone's like, okay, what are you doing now? And that's the fucking worst, honestly. Someone said to me, like, you're going to be running a marathon next thing you know it. And I like hated that. I was like, God damn it. Don't say that. Like, I think because somewhere deep down, I like knew that I wanted to try, but I wasn't ready to accept what it meant to say it or really take it on. I fought it for like a couple weeks in my brain. I had just done the 5K program and then went pretty quickly into summer program. And I was kind of in this place where I was like, I really like having the structure, which is part of why I started it. And I remember like being at a call and hearing people like talk about running half marathons and like you always say, like, do you want to do that? And I remember just feeling like living vicariously through the brave person who was asking the question, do I really want to do that? It took me a while to figure out if that is really what I wanted to do. But it like came back to the fact that I was telling myself that I couldn't. And I was like, why do you think out of everyone in this call of 35 people or whatever, you are the one that can't run a half marathon? Like, what is with that? Like, it's such a terrible way to talk to yourself, even though I'm not actively saying it in my head. Like, that's what is underlying, is like, I can't do that. Like, I think I just need to say that I want to do that because I think I actually do. And I don't know how long it would have taken me to, like, it almost like I mourn the time I would have wasted saying I didn't want to run a half marathon without like being on that call and like hearing people go through that journey. I feel like I could have gone 6 more months of just running 4 and 5 miles. I can't believe I'm saying that, and not have shot for this goal. What the hell? Like, that's such a waste of time, and like creating such a limiting fucking, don't do that to yourself, Maddie. One of the things that really helped me find the courage to make the goal to run a half marathon was the fact that I already have proven to myself that this goal to run a half marathon is not, no matter which way it goes or how the whole thing plans out, it is separate than what I did previously, which was create something in my life where there was nothing. That is a extremely healthy, mentally, physically, spiritually healthy tool in my tool belt when I'm like crippled with the anxiety of the world and the pandemic and the everything, you know, like the swirling. That's what running is about for me. So this smaller goal really of running a half marathon, it feels lesser. It feels like, okay, well, like if I don't do it, like that doesn't take away what I've already gained in finding running. And so that's really freeing. Like I obviously have times where I'm like, oh my God, I've run 6 miles. Why do I think I'm going to run 13, you know? But really, if I don't run 13 miles, that's not going to change the fact that I found something that is like such a great outlet for me in so many ways. And so then it is like, okay, well, just make the goal, just do it. I'm done limiting myself.